Welcome everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 6, Episode 8 of our Eldritch Horror playthrough of Masks of Nyarlathotep expansion set. We are wrapping up turn 7. It is rapid. I think in this last Mythos phase we had a reckoning and it knocked us all the way down to 4 from like 10. So this is definitely a game where there's quite a bit of reckoning advancement of the Doom track. There's not a lot of, I don't see a lot of the Doom track just advancing by naturally. So let's do a quick recap of turn 7 and then we can jump right into turn 8. First, can go down to the description. Check out Necromancy of Nyarlathotep. Theme and very relevant to this game in that it is a blurring of the lines of the crawling chaos and the ideas of necromancy. Talks about Cthulhu journals. Talks about Rilia rising with Atlantis and how some of these confusions are up in there. Very interesting. Please go check it out. Can support the channel that way. Okay, let's jump right into turn number 8. We're still trying to get one more clue here. This will be the third turn that Preston Fairmont is trying to reconcile this. So let's have him gain a focus token to re-roll. I think he can gain a focus token or no. Can he? Yeah, so he can gain that focus token. He will also roll to acquire assets here. And then it says that if he acquires an asset, he can actually acquire a second asset. And 6s count as 2 assets. And okay, so let's see if he can get an asset here. Okay, so he gets 2 points. He gets 2 points for this, so he can acquire a vampire talisman, but he can also acquire a second asset. So let's have him get this second asset. When you gain this card, so now he gains this ally, the museum director. When you gain this, you get an additional artifact. So he can gain additional oracular tablet. So when you perform this, you gain +3 to spells. So now he has quite a number of improvements here. So let's see if he can progress here. So we will also have also when he gains assets, he can recover sanity. So that will his sanity is fully recovered here. So that'll be the end of his action phase. Let's move on to Father Matteo. Father Matteo still has not gotten any boon condition because he's not closed a gate. So let's have him. He needs to go after that clue too, but let's see. Maybe I should have him go after the... It's a tough one. I think I'm going to have him give up on the clue for now, and he's going to try to close this gate in London. Use his token. And he will try to close that gate. I think that's the right way to go for him. And also let's have him try to acquire an asset. So he can also acquire an asset. And he can also use Eldritch tokens if he chooses to re-roll dice. So let's go ahead and have him try to acquire... Oh no, that was a travel. Let's have him try to acquire an asset. So he will try with 3, 4, 5. He also gets 2. So he can pick up this um, gruesome talisman that gives him an additional roll. So that works. Okay, so he will try to close a gate. He will try to use the clue. I think that's been enough bad luck for now. And Calvin Wright, I just checked it. It looks like we have another double up because it was 9 and now it's 9 again. So he's actually going to have him stay here. He can also heal. No need to heal anything. 7, 5, 7. Everyone is healed. He can trade. He can trade any amount of health or sanity with another investigator. Okay. So let's just so he can close this out. Let's have him take, right? Because he can also do that. Let's have him take 1 sanity from Fairmont, 1 health, and he brings him up to 7. That will bring him to 5, and then let's have him gain. Okay, he's just at 5, but let's have him try to progress to close out his component here. There's not clues on the game board over his test. So Father Matteo, it says if he has over 6, 1, 2, 3. So he's okay right now. So that's fine for his clues. Let's check out. Okay, so yeah, so Calvin will. Calvin did that action, and then he still can do an additional action. So let's have him. Again, where is he? He's in the wilderness. Okay, so let's just have him gain another focus token, because those may come in handy later. And that will wrap up for the action phase. Let's get into the encounter phase. So, again, a research encounter for millionaire Preston Fairmont in a city space. Okay, you try to appeal to the people of the city to unite against the common enemy. Okay, let's see if he can do this one this time. Yes, he passes. If you pass, they pass you information and gain this clue, finally. And he will pass that clue here, and we can close this adventure out and be on the 3rd adventure after this. And remember, we're still only on the first active mystery, so this is very elaborate to get through these. If you fail, they deem you untrustworthy. No, we didn't fail, so that's fine. Okay, so let's move on to Father Matteo, who's going to try to close the gate, and it's our first gate journey. So it's to the future. And it says, the future version of you lies in a rancid hotel room, slowly dying of vicious wounds while mumbling incoherently. You try to speak to this other you, but it's difficult to face. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you pass. And the other you points to a letter that describes how to seal this portal. Close this gate. Okay, great. So he closes the gate. All right, and then just while we're here, he can place the Eldritch token. He can place an additional Eldritch token on his card. So let's see if we have one here. Okay, that's no worries. The letter also contains an ancient rite. So let's roll one more test. And he passes. If you pass, you perform the rite correctly. Gain 1 spell. So he gains a spell. Is incantation spell, Spectral Razor. You may roll to have additional strength. So he's quite a lot of power here. We're just waiting for him to get into a combat. So, and we can just fix this here. Fix this here. We can find Father Matteo here. Let's have Calvin Wright now do his encounter with another mystic ruin. Hyperborea. The Inquisition of Yohounde accuses you of being a blasphemer. They question you for hours to determine if you are knowledgeable in the rites and customs related to the worship of the elk-headed goddess. Okay, so let's roll this. And we pass. If you pass, after proving yourself, you pray to Yonda for help. One more test. 5. Pass. If you pass, your prayers are answered. Move the omen to any space of the track without advancing doom. So again, if we get a reckoning here, we'll spawn a new gate as opposed to so let's move it here, and then we can so we won't have to spawn monsters on all these. It's better to spawn a new gate perhaps. So that's the strategy. So yeah, okay, fun enough. Now we can move this mystic rune to 21. Don't tell me it's 21 again. Okay, they were shuffled. They just happened to be very tightly coupled for a couple of rounds. Okay, so that's that. Action phases are done. Let us move into the Mythos phase. So we also know that at the end of the Mythos phase, when there are clues here, we complete this adventure, right? And then we can just grab this one. And it's called the Bloated Woman, Order of the Bloated Woman 3. You learn that Sir Aubrey intends to use his work to further the goals of Nyarlathotep, and the Order of the Bloated Woman summons their deity. When this card spawns, spawn the Bloated Woman epic monster on Shanghai. Okay, so let's just grab that. So spawn the Bloated Woman epic monster on Shanghai. So let's check for this. The Bloated Woman epic monster. Hydra, nope. TikTok Men, Children of Yig. I'll show you guys when I get it to the Bloated Woman. Cthulhu, Cthulga, the Windwalker, the Spider, the Spinner, the Spawn of Azathoth, the Haunter in the Dark, Aboleth, Aboth, the Black Goat of the Woods, the Dunwich Horror. Oh, here it is. Scary looking. The Bloated Woman. We've got it right here. If you see it, if you can see it closely, if we zoom in on it, let's just zoom in on it here like this. Zoom in some more on it. If you see it, it's basically a woman that looks skinny, but the shadow, you can see tentacles like it's a gigantic. It's a pretty cool looking image, right? So that's our big nemesis here. So, okay, so this spawns on Shanghai. So the Bloated Woman is spawned on Shanghai. And the power is, toughness is equal to 5, because it's 3 investigators plus 2. We have to defeat this epic monster. So I believe that Preston can go there and fight, because he's got plenty of power to do that. Okay, so let's get into our Mythos phase. So that will close the mystery. Mythos phase is we advance the token 1. We have none of those gates open. So as a result, advance doom by 1 for each gate on the board that corresponds to the current omen. All right, so we don't have any current omen, so we don't advance doom. We resolve reckoning. Okay, this is going to be brutal. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six. He's got 6. He's devoured. Preston Fairmont is devoured by, he's just totally devoured. All of his belongings, everything is gone. So we have to say goodbye to Preston Fairmont. His Eldritch tokens have exceeded his strength. So he is totally reclaimed. But we can spawn a new character. We can do that right away. And we can continue with one of the next Mask of Nyarlathotep characters. So let's just go through the Reckoning phase and we'll spawn that character at the beginning of the next turn. So unfortunately, Preston Fairmont is totally devoured. And by devoured, I believe the rule is if you are devoured, all of your belongings are devoured with you. Right? So let's just see how devoured works. I will go to the reference guide and we'll look up devoured. When an investigator is devoured, he resolves the following steps. Advance doom 1. Advance doom by 1. Discard all possessions. Everything returns back to the box. Pass the lead investigator to the investigator of his choice. So lead investigator, it goes now to Father Matteo, is now the new lead investigator. All of his allies' belongings back to the discard. And wow. Okay. So that is that. So we've moved lead investigator to Father Matteo. Let's continue with the reckoning now. So the reckoning for Father Matteo includes so he still has 7. He is not devoured. So let's look at the rest of his reckonings. He still has never... Oh, he actually gains his... when he closed the gate, he can trade the boon condition for getting rid of his corruption condition. So now if you would gain a boon condition, discard this corruption condition. So when he closed the gate, he discarded his corruption condition. So that is good for him. And in his reckoning, he has to roll only this messenger reckoning now. Yes, just the that's the only one left. I think that Preston had the most of those. So he gains he has to roll, and he does not have to flip the reckoning, so he's saved from that reckoning. Are there any monster reckonings? There is the roll of a die. We do not advance doom for the crazed mob, so that's good. And then the last reckonings would be with Calvin Wright. Calvin has the corruption condition, so he also has to gain. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. gains 1 corruption condition. So he has 5. He's still okay. And he has to flip this card. So it says you may gain a dark pact condition to discard all your Eldritch tokens. Well, he will do that. He will gain a dark pact condition to discard all of his Eldritch tokens. So he'll take a dark pact condition here. Now he's got a dark pact condition. He has no Eldritch tokens, and he discards that, and that was the last reckoning. So let's just double check. For each Eldritch token you have, you lose possessions. No longer. He can discard it. So he is able to discard all of his... Oh, but then you flip this back. Okay, so he doesn't have any Eldritch tokens, but he has to flip the card back. He still keeps the corruption condition. So the only one who's lost the condition is Father Matteo. Okay, so fair enough. Okay, so Reckoning is complete. Wow, this is the craziest Reckoning of all of the games I've ever seen. Finally, we spawn a gate. The gate is on Plateau of Leng, is in the Arctic. Cephalus is in the Dreamlands. Tunguska, a gate is spawned, and monsters spawned. The giant spawn comes to Tunguska. Okay, great. So it says, gaze into the abyss. You have been drugged. In your delirium, you see yourself approach a wall of complete darkness. In this void, you sense a monstrous form closing in on you. When you awake, you know the beast is gone from the world, but it has not left you. The event says, lead investigator gains a corruption condition. We just got rid of the corruption condition and we gain one back. But that's okay. He can get the boon and can get it back again. So he gains another corruption condition because he's lead investigator now. But it says then the lead investigator can discard one non-epic monster of their choice. He can discard one non-epic monster of his choice, and he will discard the Maniac because it only has 1 Eldritch token. And then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's still okay for him. Okay, so end of the Mythos phase. We're on our 3rd part of the adventure. We're still on our first mystery. I don't think we can make it through another. I don't think we can make it through another reckoning. So let's hope that we can close this out quickly. I will spawn the next character in the beginning of turn 9, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. It was a long one, but we'll replenish the reserve, and we will spawn a new adventurer to help us join fresh. One good news is Calvin Wrights was able to discard all of his Eldritch token. I think Father Matteo is going to have to do some rolling so he can start to remove. Maybe he'll go fight a monster next round. Okay, we'll see you in the next turn. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.